nearly all these ShopRider Cordovas that I've bought, the front suspension's always been kind of seized up where they've not been put together with grease, and the corrosion gets on the aluminium because these are aluminium and the pin going through it's metal. Whatever you do, you've got no chance. They're seized solid. So I'm just going to show you how to free them up, then Vaseline them, then you'll never have no more problem. Job sorted. Right, I've took off the front tiller, I've disconnected the batteries, and the brake cable on this modern ones is easy enough to unconnect, so you've got it on the back. Now the back end of these Cordovas comes off. You pull this, get this pin, you pull that pin out, then if you lift this up like this, you should be able to drop the, well, it's jammed up with crap. Right, that's it. You should be able to just get the back end off like that, so that it can work on the front end to free the suspension. It's easier doing it this way. Right, I've took off the front wheels and the hubcaps. Now I've stood it up on end. I'm going to take all the steering linkage off so that you can get everything to move the seized up parts easier. Right, to get these off, okay, you can mess around and try prising it this way and that way to move this with a piece of wood, like I did that one last night, because I'm doing 4 of these at the same time. But because I had so much grief and hard work getting one off, I decided to go on to the blow lamp idea and warm this up, because this is alley and the pin's metal. So if I warm it up, it should be easier way of doing it. Make sure you put some serious gloves on if you can't handle this fire. Okay? It just wants hot enough, and this should expand more than the pin. Because none of this will move at all, it's that solid. Now you can see how much easier that was than messing around last night. It took me half hour to get one off. And that's the way forward, really. And now all I've got to do is to get some fine wet and dry 800, clean that off, clean the inside, because what happens is you slight rust on here, and then the salt water around where I live, salt air, corrodes the aluminium on the inside of that. And then that's what the problem is. So that's a matter of cleaning that up then, so it slides on and off, not loose, so it's a good fit, and then Vaseline it up and put it back so it moves. Right, I've gone over this with a Stanley knife to scrape the dirt off, and the same in there to get the dirt out of it. Then I've gone over it with a bit of 800 wet and dry, just to pick up the dirt that's in there on it. And now, because it's back, it's not loose, it's just working beautiful. Now it's running free now. What you need to do now is just get a load of Vaseline, because I find this is better than kind of grease in a way. Right, okay, put the load of Vaseline on there. And you're back in business with it running free. Then just put your bolt back on there to hold it, and you're back in business with the suspension. If you don't do this, you'll go along where they all seize up, And then as soon as you hit a bit of ground that's not dead flat, you've got to wheel off the ground. And it's a complete nightmare to drive. So this is an essential to free up the suspension. Obviously, I'm just doing this to show you, but obviously I'd take all this apart and respray it all if I was going to make something out of it. Another good thing that's a good thing to do, and that is before you put all this steering linkage back, if you blob a load of Vaseline all the way around that ball that's in there, that's moving about to do your steering and your linkage, and that'll stop you getting any play and wear on them. It's just making all these bits last for years longer, that's all really. And if you get a scooter, what they do is you might get a scooter checked over at some shop, but they're not going over the top like me to do what I'm doing, to make sure I've got no grief with it all.